just is one of them occasions when a homie's not doing it right. How many find themselves strolling through life? But you can't walk this way throughout life. And when it all boils down, you gon' find at the end, a sucker is a sucker and a friend is a friend. So what that you strolling through life? But you can't walk that way in this life. Gotta liberate the minds of the ones that's gon' fight for us. No time to hesitate, we gotta water this dry forest. So many called, you are chosen. How can we be free? When fear is interwoven. Recognize the fact our lifestyle was stolen. Snuff our lights out with composure. Now everything is church. Confession is open. We think we're blessed, but we were stripped from emotions. Naked and afraid of the land we were stolen. The beautiful mother continent of this whole shit. Some claim to be an Indian. Hell no. That's an old trick. Regurgitating, we have no evidence for old ships. That's just old fake news on a new clip. Better watch out who you dealing with. I won't stand on anti-African sentiment. I'm a different class of revolution, I get it in. Like Dr. John Henry Clark said, listen, we don't have many friends, none. So you can stand for the truth or fall for a lie. But if you choose to fall for a lie, what a demise. It's your life to commit intellectual suicide. Now this just is one of them occasions when a homie's not doing it right. How many find themselves strolling through life? But you can't walk this way throughout life. And when it all boils down, you gon' find at the end, a sucker is a sucker and a friend is a friend. So what that you strolling through life? But you can't walk that way in this life. Gotta liberate the minds of the ones that's gon' fight for us. No time to hesitate, we gotta water this dry forest. Gotta hope and the brothers that swerve and die for it. And for the ones that served, I know they'll snipe for us.
JC, you cold for this one.
Now this just is one of them occasions when a homie's not doing it right. How many find themselves strolling through life? But you can't walk this way throughout life. And when it all boils down, you gon' find at the end, a sucker is a sucker and a friend is a friend. So what that you strolling through life? But you can't walk that way in this life.
Go get my book, Mandingo Theory, Castration of Africans and the Sex-crazed Conceptualization. Available now on Same Tree Different Branch, publishing.com. Get your copy today. Let me stop sharing this real quick. First, I want to say peace to everybody that's watching. Peace to everybody that may be watching in the archives. Y'all, please like and share the show. I think this will be this is gonna be a nice discussion. We all kind of got our different perspectives on Kanye West, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna go through a few things today. Again, y'all, please like and share the show. And let's see, let me go back to where I want to go back to because I always leave that out. My stepdaughter and my son want y'all to, if I can go, I don't never have this ready.
Welcome to Kofi Piesie TV.
So please subscribe to the channel now.
So please go subscribe to the channel if you hadn't subscribed to the channel. I got my good brother Ibaka, who gave me that dope music for the first video that I showed. I got my brother Sutek Akane Olo Alawai Sutexton White. That's his new name. And we got our good brother T'Challa Bungara on the panel. I'm gonna mute my mic for just a second, man, and y'all introduce yourselves, man, and open up the show.
All right, I'll kick it off. Peace to the family. Peace to my brothers on the panel. Peace to everybody in the chat and everybody who will come through later. It's your brother Charleston White Jr. Nah, I'm just playing. It's your boy Sutek, man. Share Lafayette. Please make sure y'all like the show. Please make sure y'all share the show as y'all coming in. We're gonna have a good, decent build today. It's supposed to be about the brother Kanye West, or Ye as he affectionately renamed himself today. So I have a stance. I wouldn't say that it's a hard stance because I don't really follow Kanye too much, but or at least not the antics. So my stance is a soft stance. I'm interested to hear the position of the other brothers and anybody else in the chat that may have any input on the situation. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
T'Challa Ibaka.
Go ahead. Yeah, cut out for me. Peace to everybody. Yeah, I'm just curious to see what everybody think on this. Um, there's always something going on, so uh, pleased to have our brother Ibaka on the panel, and let's get into it.
Yeah, peace to the panel. This is Ibaka Abokwe Bakala. I'm also interested in hearing everybody's points of views and perspectives on our misguided brother Kanye West. I'm also interested in hearing more of a psychoanalysis on his condition or conditions. So let's get into it.
All right. So like I said, man, we're gonna play a few videos, but before we play a few videos and assess the videos and break down the videos, I'm gonna take a pen out. I want to kind of like build kind of like a case from my perspective on, because the more we get into it, I'm just gonna, maybe my evidence that I got may be right, maybe my evidence may be wrong, far as my perspective on Kanye's behavior over the last year, far as the outbursts, the certain type of behaviors, and even turning his back on his own people, so I'm gonna share my show. But before we do that, before I share my screen, man, again, man, if y'all ain't got my book, Mandingo Theory, Castrations of Africans and the Sex-crazed Conceptualization, please go to our publishing company, Same Tree Different Branch, publishingcompany.com, and get the latest works, Mandingo Theory, Castrations of Africans and the Sex-crazed Conceptualization. Again, like I tell you, if you buy the book and you don't like the book, I'll give you your money back. But I'm guaranteed if you pick up the book, you're not gonna want to put the book down. All right, now that we got that out the way, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Yeah, Miss already shared. Let me open this up. Open this window up. All right, so the show is called Did Kanye or Ye develop a bias after marrying a Kardashian? So, and this is kind of like my perspective, you know what I'm saying? Because he does has a bias, but we're gonna get into it, what I mean, because I know other people may say the same thing, and what I mean by a Kardashian, him marrying a European woman of descent and even having children by this European woman of descent. So most of the time it puts some of our black brothers or even our black sisters who marry outside of their race, it kind of puts them in a biased situation, right? So bias, what is bias? Bias is a prejudice in favor or against one thing, person, or group compared with another one, usually in a way considered to be unfair. In some sports, such as lawn bowling, or the irregular shapes given to a bowl. 3, cause a feel or show inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something. So keep that in mind. I just wanted to break down what a bias is. Free thinking. I want to, the definition of this is also coming from Oxford Dictionary for people that may not have been following Kanye West over the few years and even recently. He always have this thing where he talks about him being a free thinker, right? So a free thinker is a person who forms their own ideals and opinions rather than accept those of other people, especially in religious teachings. And some contemporaries thought, in particular, free thought is strongly tied to rejection of traditional social or religious beliefs. So, he has a thing against the social and political structure. are the norm or the traditional. Opinion. Also, this is something that, he always talks about his opinion. He always states his opinion like his opinions is facts. So he used the word free thinker a lot. He used the word opinion a lot, right? So the opinion is a view or judgment formed by something that's not necessarily based on facts or knowledge. The belief or views of a large number of majority of people about a particular thing. An estimation of a quality of worth of someone or something. Someone or something. But going back to the first one, it says a view or judgment formed by something, not necessarily based on facts or knowledge. So keep that in mind, because he believes that his opinion is fact. He believes that his opinion is fact. Oh, man, hold on. Go to the next one. Kanye West says he hasn't read anything. So he was on an interview, and I'm gonna play the interview because I don't want nobody to say that I'm putting words in his mouth. So we're gonna hear that directly from him, and that's how we'll open the show up. But Kanye West says, and keep that in mind too. But in some instances, I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? That he hasn't picked up a book, but he say he doesn't read a book. But we gonna hear it from the horse's mouth itself. Black people hurt us. And this is something that I feel like too, but we're going to assess that as well. He says that he doesn't like to read. He likes to have conversation with people. And sometimes, being around people, and just because people sound highly intellectual, sound smart, doesn't mean that, what they saying is actually rooted in facts. It's actually rooted in truth. And even with our sister, Candace Owens, and our brother Kanye West, I believe that black people have hurt them in a sense. And he even said that with a tweet in some of a sense when he's directing a tweet out to Boosie. We might talk about that tweet as well. So black people has hurt us. This is the front of the shirt that everybody's been talking about, the Black Lives Matter shirt. He has this thing with the fetus. He's on the abortion now. Black people are aborting more children in the world. This is what he's saying now, that black people are aborting more children than anybody in the world right now. And look who he has, the Pope on the front of the shirt. This is the White Lives Matter shirt. So I just wanted to show the front of the shirt for people that may not have seen the front of his White Lives Matter shirt. So this is the Pope that he has on the front of his shirt. So, and I think that was the last slide. Hold on, let's see. No. All right. The most exclusive luxury fashion brands. So a lot of people too, I'm just building my case. All right. So we know that Kanye since 2014, I don't know why this thing keep popping off here. From 2014, kind of tried to get into the fashion, try to create a thing called Moscato. It was a street line. The street line never got out there. He talked about it a few times. This is when he was with Rockefeller, right? And the Moscato street line was off the mascot that he wore, that he had with him all the time. So he wanted to get in high fashion. We know he got into it with Sway. You know what I'm saying? How, Sway? How? But, and he's always talking about fashion, his love for music and his love for fashion now. And we know that he, from 2010 onward, he went to Paris. He even went in debt over the fashion. So a lot of times when you hear Kanye talks now, he talks about a lot of white European, which is European people who owns the high fashion companies. Like Kanye worked for Louis Vuitton. He partnered with Louis Vuitton. He was an intern at Gap. You hear him talk about Balenciaga. I think he was partnered with Balenciaga at one time. So he talks about so you hear him talk about his heroes a lot. You hear him talk about Louis Vuitton, the owner of Louis Vuitton. You hear him talk about the owners of Balenciaga. You hear him talk about the owners of Fendi. He also did something with Fendi. He was an intern, I think, with there, or he was partner. He did something at Fendi. And all of these things are like high on fashion. He talks about the owner of Versace. So a lot of these white guys that he talks about are owners of these so-called high-end fashion brands. And he talks in high regards about these people. And at one point of time, Kanye was studying fashion, and he was in Paris for a long particular time, and he was an understudy in some of these high fashion. So he was surrounded around a lot of these European high fashion owners and designers, right? So, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more because I'm setting that up for something else when we talk about how Kanye's heroes are all European high fashion owners or designers. So he has a high regard for the owners of these high fashion brands and the designers of these high fashionable brands, because you can go back and look at any interview that he did. He's always mentioning these guys in his interview. He gives them high praises all the time in these interviews. So he was around or amongst these so-called elite high brand fashion owners for a long period of time. So, and keep that in mind, and keep in mind, Kanye said he does not read. He likes to have a good conversation. This is where he learns from, having a good conversation. Just keep that in mind. I'm just trying to build my case because we're going to come back to that. This is from Fox News. Some of the worst offense, and I'm just giving y'all a thing of Fox News. If y'all pay attention and y'all go Google Kanye West's interviews, right now Kanye West is doing a lot of interviews, but he's doing a lot of interviews without black media. The only black media that he did this year was the Drink Champs. And I could be wrong, but this is the only thing that I know of was the only black media that he has did was the Drink Champs. I think that was this year or the end of last year.
Yeah, it was this year.
Okay, see, did it this year. So a lot of the platforms that he's going on right now that he's having a conversation with, he says don't want to have a conversation with anybody, don't want anybody to call his phones, in particular who is in opposition of him, right? So he's been on Fox News, he's been on Clique TV, which is it's a media outlet in Paris, and he's been on another white outlet is Olo or something, which we're gonna talk about and just some show up thing in a minute, where he says that he doesn't read, right? So I don't want nobody to say I'm putting words in his mouth. We're gonna hear it right. But I want to talk about Fox News because there's a whole lot of clips that they putting out of this interview that he put out. But Fox News, some of the worst offenses for Fox hosts are contributed to the centers of black victims of police brutality. For personalities offer cruelty defense and offers who have murdered black people and condemn victims, some who are children. This is just part of the network largely strategy to deny the existence of systematic and structural racism and blame black people in the United States for social economic inequality. Fox hosts, guests, and contributors rewrite the history of the United States, gaslights about slavery, promotes Jim Crow laws, and mock the continuous struggle for civil rights. They were recently quick to defend Trump's disgusting tweets comparing the impeachments inquired to a lynching. So this article, I got this article from, I forgot what press that I got. I should have put it up there, but they wrote a whole article dealing with Fox. But a lot of people know about Fox, and a lot of people know who made Bill O'Reilly, which was one of those commentators who made Fox kind of popular with his bias and his sentiments on slavery, his sentiments on Jim Crow, the civil rights movements, blacks being thugs and so forth. But he's not the only person on CNN News with these crazy, outlandish outlooks when it comes to our people, right? So, Fox is a corruption news. I don't really look at Fox News. I really don't look at CNN News. CNN News is also, they don't deliver the truth as well, and their information is slanted as well. That might be the last slide. Please help. We got to help our brother. Please help me. I believe that Kanye West is crying out for help. I really believe he is crying out for help, but he doesn't know how to show or how to ask that he needs help from his people. Because he said he needs help, but he looks to the totally opposite of us when it comes to help. That's why you hear him talk about these high-end fashion owners. These are his heroes. So he quotes them in numerous interviews. He quotes these guys. So we're gonna go to let me see. Let me come off of here. And then I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go into let's do this. Share screen. Picture camera. Share screen. Let's see. Share screen. We're gonna go here from Kanye mouth, and then we'll get into one of the interviews, and then we'll break the interview down because there's a lot of stuff to impact in some of these interviews. But let me know if y'all can hear this. Let me know, and then on the panel if y'all can hear this too. I'm finna play it. Hold on, and that's probably why. Hold on, let me do this every time. I don't know why my settings are always off. Let's see, audio Rodecaster Pro. It's on both of the Rodecaster Pro, stereo audio. Let me turn it up. That may be it. May have to get you to share it. Hold on one second. Let's go back. I wonder why it's not coming through. Hold on, let me do this. Let me turn this other speaker on. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it.
So let's do it. I am so inspired by you. And
Yeah, you good.
All right.
You know,
and I'm not gonna play this whole video, but we just gonna go to
attribute he naturally embodies. And that's extraordinary, you know, to have that confidence, you know, from being such a young kid and going out there and inspiring and having this.
And they're both right.
That's right.
That's what you were saying. That was like a simplified version.
Yeah. The one who wins the race is the one who believes they can. The oak lies in the acorn. And Ye was telling me that he hasn't read this book, but I was telling him that every positive attribute he naturally embodies. And that's extraordinary, you know, to have that confidence, you know, from being such a young kid and going out there and inspiring and having this vision and actualizing it is extraordinary.
Also, when you said I hadn't read this book, I actually haven't read any book. Reading is like eating Brussels sprouts for me, and talking is like getting the Giorgio Baldi corn ravioli. like a good conversation is. I haven't read any book. Reading is like.
Let's go back. Let's hear him what he says one more time. Just
that's extraordinary, you know, to have that confidence, you know, from being such a young kid and going out there and inspiring and having this vision and actualizing it is extraordinary.
Also, when you said I hadn't read this book, I actually haven't read any book. Reading is like eating Brussels sprouts for me, and talking is like getting the Giorgio Baldi corn ravioli.
All right, well, just start with that real quick, man, because this is the only thing that I wanted to play in this video. But let's talk about this real 60-second thing where he's let me escape. Hit escape. And Kanye West, and I stop sharing, and I go back because we're gonna play one of the interviews from Fox, and we're gonna break that down, and then we're gonna play another one. But Kanye West has said that he doesn't read anything. He likes to sit down and have a conversation. So I'm gonna ask anybody on the panel and anybody out there. So if I came to you and I'm regurgitating something somebody else said, and I'm regurgitating this like what I had a conversation with somebody, and what they told me, I took heed and believed what they're saying because they sounded so intellectual. They spoke with proper rhetoric. So it convinced me to believe what they saying was actually rooted in truth. It was actually rooted in facts. And now I'm regurgitating what this person said. And then when you ask me where I got this from or what book or can you give me a source, I said I don't read books. You know what I'm saying? I like to sit down and have a conversation. This is how I learn, from sitting down and having a conversation with somebody. What would y'all tell me?
I'll kick it
You
off,
would,
I guess. No, go ahead, Sute.
yeah.
Oh,
I'll just go. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. Um, I hear a lot of people say that, and over here at Kofi Piesie TV, we definitely it's a lot of people that we come across. Is why we do what we do, is because we wasn't trying to just be on the internet talking. But the short and sweet answer is, you know, man to man, when a man tells me that he doesn't review any literature, um, I don't care who you are, you lose about 50% of respect off the rip with me. I automatically, I don't respect you that much. Now, as a man, I'm gonna respect you man to man. Like you ain't done no harm to me. You ain't putting no hands on me, nothing crazy like that. You ain't impeaching on none of, my livelihood, nothing like that. But as far as like respecting your intellect, 50% is chopped off the block. Um, because you have to at least be aware of what other people say, whether it's something crazy in the book that's completely, outlandish, or whether it's something that's grounded and built upon some sort of source and factual evidence or whatever, and this person is given an account of said, events, and you're able to discern what's true and what's not and cross-reference and go through all of the procedures of research. But to not even do the very basic of research methodology, which is, you know, literature review, that's a red flag. And that person, honestly, you can barely take what they say with a grain of salt, as we say. So that's my piece.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Anybody else got to take,
Yeah, I'll say, I'll look at you like a nut. Like, your credibility is lost to me. If we're having a conversation about something, a topic in particular, especially a intellectual topic, and you're telling me that you don't read, then you have no credibility to me. Like nothing that you say will hold any weight. And this kind of makes sense for Kanye to say, because this is the same dude that was like saying, what he's saying, like Harry Tubman was what I can't remember what he said, but he was saying he made a whole bunch of historical errors. Um, Slavery was a choice, all type of nutty sentiments. So, I mean, it makes sense. And
did he say Harry Tubman didn't exist? I can't remember. It was something way far out there somewhere.
it was something like that. It was
Yeah,
something like that. Like, and that makes sense though. You don't read, so like you said, if you don't read, you more than likely just regurgitating what somebody else has said. Like, you have no facts, you have no evidence, you really don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, Zane said he said Harry Tubman didn't save black people. He did save it, man. But what about you, Ibaka, man? What was you?
Yeah, I would number one, I would just ask about context. So for instance, I'm a fan of oral tradition. I understand the accuracy of what I kind of call verbal literature. But obviously, since the West runs the world, you can't really rely upon oral traditions, heavily, because individuals are kind of going the way of the woo-woo, right? Everybody's just kind of making up things as they go along. So in this day and time, we do need some type of evidence, some type of backing for claims and so on and so forth. And for him to be so whitewashed and sitting there bigging up all type of European, what they would call excellency, I already discredit him, based upon that, and him not reading the book, that's just kind of ignorant to me. So I would just say, brother, be careful.
Right. I agree with all y'all's, and it does make sense for some of the stuff that he actually, that's some stuff that actually comes out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And he be talking like, what he's saying is actually facts. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to what I was saying, and we're gonna get into some more video, but that goes back to me putting up the thing where I was showing you where he's his, how he went to Paris and he studied. Kanye West studied, I think, from 2019, and he worked as an intern. He partnership with you. When we know he got, he got the deal with Nike. That was the shoes. Then with Adidas, with the shoes, with the Yeezys, and so forth. And then he wanted to go into the high fashion, right? So he began to, go into debt. This is one reason why he got into it with Sway, and Sway was, and now Sway right. I don't know if y'all seen now he's saying Sway was right. Somebody asked Sway. So he laughed it off, and then he was saying, yeah, now Sway is right, when Sway was just telling him what he could do and how to, and empower himself, right? But, him being surrounded around the wrong type of people. When you're surrounded around surrounded, and see, he may be looking at, just because you got millions and billions of dollars does not mean that you the smartest person in the world, does not mean that you are intellectual. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our people that have money, you know what I'm saying, and whatever field that they made their money in, this is where they might be smart in. But in other areas, they dumb as rocks in. You know what I'm saying? And they speak out of turn, you know what I'm saying, and don't know what they're talking about. Or they speaking from their own perspective. So Kanye West has been surrounding himself around this white European excellency or white standard, especially when it comes to fashion. So this is why you hear him mentioning all of these high fashion owners and high fashion designers that work for the companies, because he believed that this is the standard that we should be going by. This is the standard that we should be following. So a lot of times with him not reading, you know what I'm saying, and that's the same thing, and it goes back to he's a Christian. He says, and we're going to play that too. Kanye West says we are all Jews, right? He said he's a Christian. He talks about him being a spiritual leader. God sent him here to do certain things, and we are all Jews. We shouldn't be, saying that we black, we white, but we're one people. We are all Jews. We Jews. So this
confusion.
Is right. So
he said he a Christian, but he say we all Jews.
Yes, like, we all Jews. Right. But even going back to that, with me saying that, most people that are in the churches, most people that's in the mosque, and I can't say the synagogue because I don't know a lot of people that's in a synagogue who, I don't know a lot of Jews. I would say that I don't know a lot of Jews, so I don't know. I read about some of the things that goes on in the synagogue, but I don't actually know anybody in a synagogue. I know one thing that is written about the synagogue when we talk about the priests and how they play with kids and, molest kids. That's the only thing. But I know, far as with the mosque, I know people in the mosque, I know people in the churches, and a lot of times when people that speak with proper rhetoric and people speak, you know what I'm saying, like they have a highly intellectual person, we deem to utter every word, what I call parakeeting. So we parakeet what another person is saying. That man is in the pulpit. So that man is in the pulpit. We parakeet him because he's speaking with proper rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking like he's heavily intelligent, right? So we begin to parakeet without going to verify. So we're not verifying what he's saying. We just taking what he's saying or what she's saying on face value. And that is what Kanye West is doing. Again, he has surrounded himself around totally different people who have a totally different perspective and a totally different worldview, right? So now he doesn't read, and he's around these individuals, he's eating up everything that they saying and not going to verify what they saying to be actually facts. You know what I'm saying? He's probably basing it off of, okay, one, they white, so they must know what they talking. 2, they are billionaires, because most of the people that he's talking about are billionaires. So 2, they are billionaires. So they must be right, and then 3, I think, he's doing these things for, shock value as well. But we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get further into the show. Let's go to we'll go to the Fox video, then we'll go to the Clique video. And just pay attention now. I'm playing videos. These are all white medias. These is all the people that he wants to talk to right now. He's only went to one black media, and that was Drink Champ. Uh-huh. So let's listen to the Fox video.
In the world, he has also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But his West's latest incarnation is a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage. There is no excuse for this, thundered the New York Times. West is legitimizing extremism, shrieked Rolling Stone, etc., etc. What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill, too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient. There's nothing to see here. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you. He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries.
Hey, let me pause there real quick. Sutek, they are. I see your comment real quick. You said real Jews need to blackball him. He's black. They restricted his Instagram page the other day. Instagram restricted his Instagram page. Something in that fashion where he was talking about the Jews, so they weren't even rocking with whatever, rocking with what he said. So Instagram has restricted his page due to the Jewish comments that he has that Kanye has made.
Wow, and that's what Zane was just saying too. He was like, he'll just post whatever he need to say on IG. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, them Jews ain't no game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they restricted his page.
Social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring and is often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America's young people. And that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But again, you can judge for yourself. Here it is.
Hotjar helps you find out what people really think about your website. So whether you own a small business selling customized dog costumes from the comfort of your living room like Paul, or you're...
So you just came from Paris Fashion Week. You just landed, and the lanyard's still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And then you designed that?
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life and pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen. I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more Black babies being aborted than born in New York City.
I'm gonna stop real quick, man. We're gonna get into. See, at one point, we all Jews. We all need to be people, right? So now, why he's just singling out Black people? From my understanding, white folks are getting their babies aborted too, right? And white folks have the more finances than white. So how does that work when it comes to aborting baby? You have to pay for that, right?
Yep.
You have to pay for it. So, and a lot of our single parent mothers, they don't have the funds. And I'm not saying we not doing it, because we are aborting babies. But where is the stats that says that we are aborting more babies? And then he said New York, He said, so maybe he's just talking about just black people in New York as a boy. But still, I would like to see the stats. Where's the stats? Where's the statistic saying that black people in New York or anywhere in the world is aborting more babies than anybody else?
Shit, how the hell would he know? He don't read. He don't read. And now we black again, dude. Like we magically black again. So like, dude, it's confusion. Like I said.
No, what I see is a case of straddling the fence, right? So he's trying to use black trauma, right, black pain to generate some type of an emotional reaction from, especially us, because he already knows he lost favor with us. So he's kind of using that. He's misrepresenting the stats. Obviously, we don't even make up the percentage amount to be able to abort more than anybody demographically in America. So that don't even make sense. So, but like the brother said, he don't read. So
at this point, that 50% of Black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet. When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office, and I liked him. Yes. And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, okay, green light me then. God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that,
hey, y'all,
he made me for such a time like this.
Hold on. Like, are y'all seeing the video?
He tended to the sheep, but what?
No. We hear the audio, but we don't see the video.
Oh man, my bad. Hold on. I wanted to show the video as well. Hold on. I know y'all hear the audio, but let me I want to show the. Oh shoot, and we didn't do the thing neither.
Yeah, hey, I'm about to play it now. That's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second, y'all, because I want y'all to see the interview as well. So I sure forgot about that. Yeah, copyright disclaimer section under 107 of the Copyright Act 1977. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976 allow made for fair use. We plugged it up there. So let me go back to sharing my screen. Because I know we had, I was wondering, like, I'm looking on the other end. I say, I see us, but I don't see the thing. All right, so do this. I don't know who it is. All right.
While he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter t-shirt that you brought out.
Hey, hold on, Kofi.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say this. It's one thing to believe in something, to have your cultural beliefs. Like, I take heed to certain traditions of the Mandingo people, in which, by the way, our brother Kofi has, if you haven't heard, he got a book out called Mandingo Theory. That's the short title. I don't know the big long title. He got a long title on that, but definitely check that out, right? But those people I study from have been doing so for the last 15 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? Over there in coastal West Africa, which where most of us, if we do a DNA test, we're gonna come from somewhere as far east as Nigeria, all the way through Benin, Togo, you know, Ghana, into what is formerly known as the Malian Empire that makes up modern day countries of Mali, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, those kind of places. Okay. We right, Zane, that quote. Um, we don't need to be anywhere talking about. And I'm just saying from a African American point of view, or a displaced African, enslaved, kidnapped, descendant, survivor, however you want to label us, not a Jew, but as black people that were forcibly brought over here. We don't need to be hollering talking about quote unquote God is on our side, or God believes in you even if you don't believe in God. That's forcing your narrative on other people. Everybody on this panel don't play African drums, but that don't make their fight for black people and black liberation any less because they don't play African drums. And I've heard that in some of my circles. Um, Everybody on here don't, rock a certain hairstyle. Everybody on here got different lives, different things that they do to make money, different ways of going about life. I'm not going to sit up here on this panel or in this chat rather and start to tell people about what they need to do on their day to day. And I think that's a big problem, but I'll let it go ahead. Just get me started with that God talk.
Week. Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause that too. And like I'm saying, with the brother saying he's not reading, right? Say he don't read. He learns he likes to have a great conversation. He compares reading to what Brussels sprouts, you know what I'm saying? Bad tasting Brussels sprouts. A good conversation with some type of ravioli or whatever the case is. But you see, Candace Owens has got the brother in trouble. And it going back to what I'm saying about the bias. We're going to get into that. Both of them, Candy Owens and Kanye West, has formed some type of bias. And what I mean by they have formed some type of bias, how can you fight against white supremacy or racism on black people when you are in bed or married? She's married to a white man. If y'all may not know, she's married to a white man. He was married to a white woman. She has a child by a white man. He has children by a white woman. So now he has developed some type of bias. Both of them, they torn. They both of them torn. I believe that somewhere down the line, which Kanye's went through his tweets, you know what I'm saying, his posting, his outbursts about black people in general, we have hurt him somewhere down the line, of maybe we hadn't supported him. Maybe, and that's the thing that's going back to when he was in debt. He was in debt trying to become a high fashion designer, studying up under these different high fashions, Fendi's and Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? Versace. He talks about Versace, like all these different owners, right? You know what I'm saying? And maybe he felt like they gave him an opportunity to fulfill his dreams, but we turned his back. I don't know. But and with that, he may develop some type of feeling and, a bias with land with, his wife was white. Her husband is white. Their children are mixed.
I mean, if that was the case, pardon my French, but I say fuck you. You wouldn't be in this position for these fashion companies and fashion entrepreneurs to be looking at you if it wasn't for us.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would know Kanye. We supported your music. We supported your movement as a producer. We
Facts.
supported all the projects and shit that you did. I liked Kanye before all that. Like I can separate the man from the music, but you see the music change. You see the music change. It gets more poppy, like more into the lane of pop music, to me at least. And you're not going to be able to say we didn't support you because we was there the whole way. We was there the whole ride. If it wasn't for black people supporting you, Ralph wouldn't know who you are. Just like he was yelling at Sway. It ain't Ralph though. It ain't Ralph. Nigga, Ralph wouldn't know who you was if it wasn't for the black community.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You wouldn't have had all that money that you had that you went in debt to when you was trying to get Google to bail you out like he bailed out all these other companies when he was in debt. That was the whole rant. This was around, and when we was talking about the Swayans, and this was around the same time where he said he went in debt. He went in debt trying to create his company and get his company off the ground and studies from these different people. And at one time he thought they was against him as well. These was the rants, right? So like you said, he wouldn't be who he is if it wasn't for the black community. And I think too, he will probably be still the Kanye that we know of, where these people like Candace Owens, and even these other people that surrounding him, or he surround himself around, they probably wouldn't even be in the picture because she probably would call the bullshit right then. And so I think after his mother passed as well, he kind of went down, he kind of went downhill, you know what I'm saying? Kind of had a down spiral, maybe had a mental breakdown, but his mental breakdown, he said, was he didn't accredit that to his mother, the passing of his mother, him missing his mother. He credited that to people in his corner, his brothers and his sisters that look like us in his corner, and even his wife. He said his wife. He said his mother-in-law. He said the people that was surrounding him in the music industry, you know what I'm saying, was in his ears telling him that he shouldn't say this, he shouldn't say that, he shouldn't support Donald Trump, he shouldn't wear this hat, he shouldn't say this, he shouldn't have this outburst, he should support this person, he should support that person. So he said people that was trying to indoctrinate him or sway him to a position where they did sway him at one time where he did say he didn't support Donald Trump. And he said he was coerced to say that by his friends and his families and the people in the industry trying to listen to what they're saying. But they was trying to block his expression. So he talks about expression all the time. People are trying to block other people on, and letting them express themselves however they want to express themselves, So he credited that to his wife, his mother-in-law, and the people in his industry and the circle that was around him at one time. So that's what he credited his mental breakdown to.
He credited his mental breakdown to the people that was in his corner trying to give him sound advice. That makes no sense. I mean, it's one thing if like you didn't have that, you just had a whole bunch of, because a lot of us feel like these people that say this type of stuff don't have the people that's around them that's real enough to let them know, hey, you sound crazy doing that, bro. You look crazy. Look like white lives matter, bro. Do you know what that shit stand for? Like, he got those people on his side telling him that though. So it seems to me like maybe it's something with authority or him being a shock jock and rejecting the way that he feels that people think he should act or be like, because it's like he said, like he equated himself to a toddler. He said books is like the Brussels sprouts. Like, so you equating yourself to the kid that don't want to eat your vegetables.
Don't want to
Like,
eat the shit that you need though.
The vital shit. Think about the psychology of that. And now you're saying, oh, these people wanted me to say this, so now I'm gonna go say the opposite. Like,
Yep.
like that's the mental psychology of this dude, the childishness of it.
I think what's interesting is like you saying, like the people that influence his breakdown is people close to him. But like, look at right now who's giving him a platform right now. Look at the left hand corner of your screen. Look who's giving him a platform to, I guess this is what makes him happy and feels good to be able to look who's letting him express himself and continue to embarrass himself. You know what I'm saying? Like on a global platform like Fox, sitting in front of Tucker Carlson, like all that shit need to be considered too right now. You know what I'm saying? But those are his friends in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? But they don't care about that, man.
No.
They want to put his crazy opinion out here so people can drag him. You know what I'm saying?
They his friends, yeah, letting them do whatever the hell he want to do. Yeah, Kanye, you can take a shit on the carpet. Like, go ahead. We'll have somebody clean that up. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Now, one of the things that immediately pops out through this interview right here with Carlson, what is it, Tuckerson or whatever, is the fact that he feels comfortable bringing up God, right? And for those that know, we know where that etymology come from and all that. But it reminds me of Dr. Amos Wilson, right? He brings up this concept in Issues of Manhood, right? In his book, Issues of Manhood. And he talks about like the religious attitude, can be very destructive, when it causes you to feed other children that don't belong to you, that doesn't belong to your stock, right? Where this particular religious fervor causes you to denude your own children, right? In order to clothe other children, right? Like his whole mentality is based upon, seeking this acknowledgement from the opposition. You know what I'm saying? And so I call that religious schizophrenia, and I know Kanye don't read, but those that are watching this live, man, look up religious schizophrenia, because everything that Kanye West is exhibiting is something that you can contribute to that particular psychosis, right? Religious schizophrenia. It's when you don't take accountability, right? Like the brother already brought up that he moved away from a certain set of sound information or advice, and then he just engulfed himself into what? Religiosity, right? Without truly examining, right, the effects of that particular religious dogma, right? And so now he's on Fox News and other correspondents that deal with Fox News and conservative values and things of that nature. They're going to give him, the shine that he desires, he wants, simply because he's regurgitating or, the rhetoric, right, that's pro them, right? So that's what religiosity does. And I'm not talking about kimoyo. I'm talking about religiosity, right? Religiosity causes you to hate that which is of your own essence and to embrace that which is foreign to your own being and therefore your well-being.
I like that.
Hey, real quick to piggyback on what he just said about with the black with Amos Wilson, even in the blueprint for
Black
y'all know what I'm talking about, for Black Power, he talks about how religion can be used as a socio-political power. You know what I'm saying? It's psychological and sociological, and political at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's Fox's values. That same God, he's perpetuating that, like you saying, just to piggyback on what he just said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it's real deep. People, you have to want to read to even be able to grasp what's going on right in front of your eyes. You know what I'm saying? At a deep level. But just to piggyback off what he said real quick. Go ahead, Kofi.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Y'all doing a good job, man. Y'all doing a damn good job, man. And I definitely agree, man. But let's get into some more of what he says about the White Lives Matter shirt. And then we're gonna go to another outlet. He's gonna be in Paris. Another white outlet. He's in Paris. And as you look at these interviews, they actually act like they're happy to have him on. They smiling, they eating up every word that he's saying. So I guess he's going to these places where he's safe at. He's safe, like y'all said, that these people share the same values that Kanye West is sharing, the same sentiments that Kanye West is sharing, the same perspective, the same outlooks. And he was and I don't know if it's in this interview or another one. He was talking about, and then we'll get into a talk about he was talking about running for president again, right? And they was talking about what he would do in the and that might not even be, it might have been on another part of the Fox News thing where he talks about running and how he can push the United States of America into the future. And damn, it was something that I didn't get to watching it because I wanted to hear his answer, because they was trying to see where he's gonna state the same thing, as because they was kind of phrase it as he's trying to get it, is he's going to get America back to the way America used to be. And we know what that used to be like, what that used to look like. But let's get into it. Damn, I'm playing the wrong, pause of the wrong computer. Hold on.
Instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. You know, like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to...
Hey, who is Tanya Harding, man? Who is Tanya Harding? Let me look that up. Hold on, let me look this up. Because like he throws out, yeah, she's a skater. What she's European or what? Because
wasn't she the one that got hit in the leg? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Who's the girl that got her legs beat to smithereens?
I don't know. Tanya, what do you say her name? Tanya what?
Harding.
Okay, yep. Figure skater. Yeah. And see, it's to Tanya Harding. I'm looking at a picture of her now, man. Damn, she look old in the damn face. Ooh, she's a American former figure skater, right? And so everybody, he drops a lot of names. Like, just keep paying attention. Even other video, he drops a lot of names, and he used them as I guess he used white standards as his measuring rod, right? So he quotes all these different people like it's gonna impress us. You know what I'm saying? These individuals, you know what I'm saying? Kudos to them for being, some of them being millionaires and billionaires, but just because they have money does not make them a good person. Just because they have money does not mean that they have, everybody interest in, and most of the time they don't have everybody best interest in heart. They have their own best interest in heart, and definitely don't have the Black community interest in heart. And if they coming in to the Black community, they coming to gentrify. They coming to push us out of those areas, to buy everything up and push us up out of here, or buy it up where we can't afford it, and we have to relocate because we can't afford being in those areas anymore. So it is for their own benefit, but not theirs. But I just noticed that watching these videos over the last couple of days, how he's dropping a lot of names. So I'm like, damn, who is this? Who is that? So I'm going to look up. So his measuring rod is a European standard. These measuring rods is these rich white and male and female men. So these are the standards. This is his standards. This, you know what I'm saying? So, just pay attention to this. Somebody got them open mic.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, because this reminds me of when, just briefly, it was kind of touched upon about the Harriet Tubman comment, right? Mm-hmm. So he made not a rebuttal, but he clarified, what he meant by that statement, right? Harriet Tubman did not free the slaves, right? So his stance was that Harriet Tubman, freed, the slaves from one set of oppression and just migrated them to another set of oppression, right? Although it was more lax, right, than the oppression that they came from. But irregardless, I'm not trying to be a Kanye West apologist or whatever the case is, but I see hypocrisy, right? So if that's truly his stance about Harriet Tubman, I see him doing the same thing right now, right? Because what is he trying to do? He's trying to get black people from one set of oppressive standards, right? And in his case, he's talking about what? He's talking about the fashion industry, right? And he's trying to elevate us to another set of oppressive standards, right? The Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and so on and so forth. So I see hypocrisy, point blank, period.
Good point. Good one. Good breakdown. I didn't see that.
I do have this to ask though, just real quick. Um, if Harriet Tubman didn't free black people, is what he doing supposed to be freeing black people? That's one. And then I got one more question, and I'll mute out because But where the college dropout Kanye? I'm up here in the Chi. You know what I'm saying? He grew up on the south side of the city, and you know, he bro, you walk the streets without security around here, and somebody liable to go upside your head because how hard it is for black people in the world, globally in the diaspora, for you to deny a real hero, like a real superhuman, like Woman King Dahomey worthy hero. Like she was literally a Dahomey here with the type of grit and gruesome and things that she had been through. Like she was literally a warrior. And then you're gonna say that she didn't help black people or whatever the case is. But yet, you know, what your actions are, what have you done for black people? Like what have you actually done on a mass scale? Harriet Tubman's, Marcus Garvey's, right? Um, and the list is so. I mean, we can even deal with the scholars of the Amos Wilsons and we correct their scholarship and update it. But when it comes to affecting people as a positive on a black hole, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You're not helping us.
No, he definitely not helping us. He got his own agenda. He got his own agenda. Let's play this.
Skate in a competitive format. It just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and the jokes in that work and this whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy and all these things, they don't work because the media has, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stay quiet about it. What if they? I want to answer the white. Yeah. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Hardin about the White Lives Matter. My dad is a educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today. He said, "White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha." And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, "Dad, what do you think was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious. And, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have.
Well, let's just start right there real quick, man. I just want to state this about the White Lives Matter t-shirt. I ain't, me being a Black man in the United States, me, dedicating my time to reading and understanding who I am as a black man in America, the contributions that my ancestors contributed to the world, our values before colonization, before Jim Crow, before slavery, before us encountering any European merchant and trading with them. These are the things that I'm studying. So I study these things and even study of when we did, when the slave trade, the Sahara Coast slave trade with the Arabs, this transatlantic slave trade with the European, and the effects it had on us going to the Caribbean, South America, and even here in the North America, and the laws that were set in place to marginalize us, to push us into certain areas, to deny us of certain things, to deny us of certain access to certain things, which is still going on till today. So, when people say Black Lives Matters, I'm not in a form where you won't see me wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt or saying I'm a part of the Black Lives organization. We kind of know the history behind the Black Lives movement, or what the Black Lives movement morphed into. We understand who put money behind the Black Lives Matter. We know who are the faces. I guess they still the faces of the Black Lives Matter, but we understand the intent behind Black Lives Matter when people champion on Black Lives Matter, or wear the shirt Black Lives Matter, or scream Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying, or march in the name of Black Lives Matter. We understand why, because of the horrendous things that is going on in the United States when it comes to the African American here. The things that went on in the past, the things that are still going on that people don't think that's going on. We think that because they freed us in 1865, that we are no longer going through some of the things that we are going through. So when people saying Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying, they stating the obvious of what's going on. They stating the obvious of us being marginalized. They stating the obvious of our schools are being underfunded. They are stating the obvious that they are trying to eradicate our history, our contributions of what our ancestors did. So, and we understand that we are being shot down in the street like dogs by the police, and these people are being awarded, you know what I'm saying, for shooting us down. If you study a lot of the cases that happened when these police shot and killed our brothers and sisters, some of these people who take leave and go to court, a lot of these people, they have crowdfunding. But they raise money, and some of these guys have, become rich after shooting us down in the street like dogs. So they're not doing that. White people are not being marginalized. Even people that work with me, you know what I'm saying, or work somewhere, you know what I'm saying, side by side with other black people. You got something that's called white privilege. I see it every day where I work at. They'll promote people people that just come in faster than they'll promote somebody that's been there 5 and 6 and 7 years that know the job well. They'll believe a person that looks like them before they believe a person that looks like me on anything. They'll listen. Even though I may have the experience and been here longer, they will negate what I'm saying and listen to the other person. So there is something of white privilege. Even when people get pulled over in the streets, guns is not pulled on white people. White people are not being shot down in the streets. White people are not being racial profiled. White people are not being marginalized. White people are not being written out of history, right? So nobody is saying that all lives don't matter or white lives matter. We saying right now in the United States, with the history of the United States and what's going on with us, that our lives matter. We trying to get you to see that our lives matter, and trying to get you to contribute to what, like with Kanye West. What is Kanye West doing? What is Kanye putting his money behind? What is Ye putting his money behind when it comes to the black community? What is he doing? I'm saying right now, we know the old Kanye West was a pro-black individual. We know he said George Bush don't care about black people. We know he spoke in high regards of black people, where he was regurgitating black people's name. Now he is regurgitating Europeans' name. Europeans are the standard. Their outlook, their way of life is the standard. We know at one time Ye had on a big gigantic Haru piece. So he looked at Egypt. He knew what Africa was, right? Now this person has morphed into something else. So what is Ye doing? And we're not saying that white lives don't matter. We're saying right now our lives matter more because of what we have experienced, what our ancestors has experienced, and what we are experiencing now, and what they have have set forth in our way. So what is Ye doing? Anybody know what the hell Ye is doing for the black community now?
Nah, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing.
His wife is.
Can y'all bring me up to speed? Is he saying that the purpose of his wearing that shirt was like to be sarcastic? If I'm following what he just said now about his dad saying like it was something that's, you say he said something that's obvious. So it was, and I heard some text say about the shock jock thing. So it's supposed to be sarcastic or something.
And this interview, but wait till we play the other interview. I'm just going to play a snippet from that interview where he says that we all Jews, because he talks about that when the guy asks him about the White Lives Matter t-shirt. So he says something totally different than what he says on Vox. He says something totally different on Clique TV.
So we don't even really have an honest understanding of what his intent was.
Even on this one, if you play just a few more seconds of this clip right here, because I analyzed this clip all day yesterday, right? So he's trying to be, Kanye West seems to be that, he seems to allude that he's being ironic, right? He's being ironic, but Tuckerson, what he's going to do, or what is his name? Tucker? I don't know.
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson, right? What he's going to do is he's going to preemptively strike by saying all lives matter, right? Because Kanye West is going to say, it's the obvious, right? But Carlson, Carl, whatever his name, Tuckerson, Tucker. He's not going to challenge it, but he's going to hurry up and infuse his doctrine in there, like all lives matter, where it makes Kanye West kind of like nod his head, like yeah. So because Kanye West was going to get to the point where this is ironic, this is the obvious, white lives do matter, you know what I mean? But since he's on this particular platform, Tucker Carlson, he's going to preemptively strike. So yeah.
Yeah, let's play a few more minutes of it, then we'll get into that other one. Just a few minutes of that other one.
Have an endless bank account, and he didn't have an Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like my dad is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him, because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal, and my dad would see certain things and say, we should do it this way, we should do it that way, and the people got around my mom and pulled her away. Much like, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 black children.
I'm pausing. I'm gonna come back. He keeps saying Christian too. Like that's impressing somebody because he's saying Christian. He must don't understand what the Christians, the Christian so-called Christians did. Why we think the way that we think. Why are we talking Queen English? Why are some of our brothers and sisters in Africa talking Spanish and French? and Portuguese, or you saying you a Christian makes you an honest person. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make you an honest person, just like it doesn't you saying you a Christian or you was sent here by God. And because we gonna get into all that, because he's talking about he's the new spiritual leader and all this other type of stuff. That doesn't make you honest because you saying you a Christian. You know what I'm saying? That don't hold weight with a lot of us because you saying you Christian and you keep mentioning God and you keep mentioning Christian. Because we understand that this is a Christian nation.
But what's crazy there though, Kofi, is he trying to like low key put his ex-wife out there for, you know what I'm saying, putting her ass out and shit. But he's the same nigga, you know what I'm saying, that talked to her knowing that she had a whole sex tape out and was fooling with a basketball player, this guy, but he felt like he could get her from that guy. Is that the same Christian attitude?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he's a walking contradiction, man.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And I noticed that. I really didn't notice that until like I just started looking at some of these videos. And it's like now, even when I go to YouTube, since I looked at a couple of videos, time I go in, he's in my algorithm now. So shit, Kanye interviews are popping up, left and right. And like I'm saying, he's on these platforms that's going to allow him to speak and say what he want to say, let him get what he want to get out without interrupting him, without interjecting, you know what I'm saying, without making him look, making him look dumb. So he's on a platform that's going to let him say, he's on these platforms that's going to let him say whatever he's want to say and big him up for the dumbass stuff that is coming out of his mouth, you know what I'm saying, and stroke his ego. You know what I'm saying? He's on a place where his egos want to be stroked. And like you said, Sutek, I believe that, he don't right now, he don't want to be told what to do. That's just the bottom line. And whatever somebody say he wants to, his response is, I'm gonna do the opposite. Even if it's wrong, I'm gonna do it because it's not the norm.
Yeah, he like a kid. He told you. Like he don't want his mama telling him to eat his vegetables. Like, I ain't trying to read. I just have a conversation. Whatever I feel, that's what I'm gonna say. That's how you get all these contradictions.
Right.
But nobody's challenging him when he's saying, like, he need to sit in front of somebody that can beat up all the dumb shit he say, like point by point.
Last time somebody came at him passively, though, we got that classic, like, how Sway? Like, he went in on Sway. Sway had to say, like, hey, like, we can turn this shit off right now and step outside, partner. And then he calmed down. Like, and Sway don't even be on that type of energy.
Nah,
bro.
Sway is cool as shit. Oh, yeah. I ain't seen that, though.
So he don't want nobody to challenge him.
Right.
He in the right place. That's why he's sitting on Fox News.
Right. And he's on Olu. We played a video earlier that when you went on, he was on I think it was Olu. It's another platform. They deal with meditation and healing and all that other type of stuff. And they bigged him up. But this is where he said that he doesn't read. This was Sutek was talking about the Brussels sprouts. You know what I'm saying? He actually said that he doesn't read anything. He likes
anti-intellectualism in essence.
Right. He learns by having conversation with people.
No, that's not how you learn.
He
have different types of learning styles, but you can't completely omit reading is at the most fundamental foundational part of learning. Right. You can't do that.
And
skip that step.
That's right. And I want to go verify some of these things that I may not never heard of. Let me go verify some of these things and see if this is actually facts. Is this rooted in facts? You know what I'm saying? Let me go see. Let me see if this rooted in some bias. Let me see let me see if this was, in the historical record. Let me go see what the consensus said. Let me go see what such and such say. So let me go read this type of material. He's not doing that. He's just parakeeting what Candace Owens is telling him. He's parakeeting what some of these circles he's been surrounded around in. Like I said, his brother was in Paris So a lot of these people, he was around a lot of Europeans in this high fashion industry and these designers. So that's why he's quote and shoots their name off like he's impressing somebody by shooting these owners and these designers' names out, because they are the standard. They are his measuring rod. You know what I'm saying? This is the standard. And I can just imagine in some of those circles, some of the stuff that they talked about while he was in the circles, while he probably just sat back and soaked it up. Probably soaked it up. And their worldview and their perspective is totally different than our worldview and our perspective. And then a lot of things that they probably speak about, again, just because you make you money doesn't make you smart in everything. And he's probably looking at, okay, he's white or she's white, and then she got money. So damn, they got to be telling the truth. Because I know people around me, well, it's not around me, the people that I work with, you know what I'm saying, on that same type of time. On that same type of time.
Me too. Me too. But what I noticed about those people though, Kofi, is they don't really know shit at all anyway. So they just are like, get, like you say, how he's getting stuff from other people, parakeeting it. That's how you can tell that they not reading, because all they doing is listening and doing a lot of talking. You know what I'm saying? So you 100% right there, bro.
Look at this dude's face. He looks like a withered plant, right? And brother Kofi brought up he brought up a good analogy, right? He's in these circles, he's soaking up, right? But it does matter what you soak up, right? If I pour Coca-Cola, you know what I'm saying, in a delicate plant, that plant gonna die, right? Oh, yeah. He's not getting no pure water. He looks withered. He looks defeated. He's a weirdo. You know, he's a buster, period. Yeah.
Hands down. No, it's not up for debate.
Let's play some more.
And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions, and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
He's loved
so
it. I love it.
That your father said when he saw the shirt "White Lives Matter," it's great to see a black man stating the obvious. So, by which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, you know, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote "White Lives Matter" on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah. Why do you think that's so?
Why he okay?
Implications, of course,
damn.
all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go so we can get into this all lives matter thing.
Right there. He just did it right there.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it, but I wanted to stop because that was his opportunity to say, okay, well, white lives matter, but also my people's lives matter as well. You know what I'm saying? And he could have went into a diatribe to educate, you know what I'm saying, Carson Tucker or Tucker Carlson, whatever his damn name, on the horrendous crimes that has happened to the people that looks like him. But, he's saying, but he didn't, he had an opportunity right there, but he's saying no, but then, like he said, what's the name sets it up where he says white lives matter. We're going to stop it after this. And then we're going to go to the other thing. And we're just only going to play 2 minutes of that video where they asked him about it in Paris, about the White Lives Matter t-shirt. And then I think that's where he goes into the whole thing of we Jews and we the Jews and some other crap.
Why do you think that would be considered controversial?
Man.
Hotjar helps you find out what people really think about your website. So whether you
because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only Black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was Black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a Black college. He would be discriminated against because they said he talked too white.
Yes.
And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is. Yeah. So it's the opposite of where everyone else was clapping their hands. And this is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And when my mom, when the school suggested like the herding systems, because what they do is take the Black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as Blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom, she had a PhD, and she was influenced
We're going to go into the other night.
Move to the South Side.
Go into this other one real quick.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Pure Black. I don't know what the hell that was. It's just like he was just rambling about a whole bunch of shit.
And that's what he does in almost every interview that he puts out. I mean, and he doesn't, and to me, I don't know about nobody else, he really doesn't answer any questions when anybody asks him some questions. He goes on these long tangents, instead of giving a precise answer. He just goes on these long tangents and shit. And, this right here, I think he's in Paris, Clique TV, and they 20 minutes to interview him. They know damn well it was going to be more time to interview this guy because he gives the longest answers where he don't even really answer the question, but he gives these long diatribes, something, and go all off a topic of what they asked him. But let me see. I think it was at let's see. We'll go to the 3. We'll go to the 3 mark. It's either at the 3 mark or at the end. Let's see.
At a certain point, it felt like I saw white people wearing shirts. You have to follow our heart.
What did you want it to express when you do the White Lives Matter t-shirts?
At a certain point, it felt like I saw white people wearing shirts that said Black Lives Matter, like they were doing me such a favor by having a t-shirt that reminded me that my life mattered, like I didn't already know that. So I thought I'd return the favor and let white people know that, hey, your life matters too. It's sort of like when random people will see the documentary, and the documentary was, the 3rd chapter basically was saying, hey, we all love Kanye, but sometimes you got to turn the camera off on him. Meaning, like, don't listen to everything. Yes, we know he's a genius, but feel free to put him on mute whenever he doesn't align with what we're telling you. And so sometimes I'll see people at a fashion show and they say, we saw this documentary, and they say, are you good? And I'll say, are you good? So it's like Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter. And it's just simple as that.
Why do you say Black Lives Matter is a scam?
Well, because it's proven. They had people who end up taking money from it. I mean, this documentation is out there. And just as Black people, we're going to need more.
How he know his documentation, though?
And a $6 million.
Well, how he know his documentation out there? He said he don't read. So how he know his documentation out there? Have you read the documentation? I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong, because we just talked about that a few minutes ago. But but that's not everybody that wears a Black Lives Matter t-shirt It's not a part of the Black Lives Matter organization and the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
It's a statement. So what the hell is he talking about?
That's what I'm trying to like. He just like combined the organization with the motto in general, or not just the saying. Like, so you saying someone they would have a right to ask him? So you saying like the saying what you just said about your life mattering? Is that a scam because you're black and your life I'm confused at that point. Like, if you're talking about the organization, put some context and put an address on that. You know what I'm saying? If you talking about the saying in general and what everybody else that says it really means, then you got to put that address on there, because he being super vague and like just the context where he using it seemed like he talking about specifically what you were saying as far as the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Which is no one has any arguments with that, but he not making that clear. So for the other people that, you know what I'm saying, don't have that understanding or not concerned even about the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just mentioned, like, how did he know what happened really? Like you said, he said he don't read. So that's a whole nother contradiction. He just said that he wore the White Lives Matter shirts to as a reactionary thing that he
Move or
did.
tactic.
Yeah, yes. But earlier he said that he wore it because people were telling him anyone wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another contradiction. So I mean, it's really hard for me to take anything that
he said greenlit.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah.
So he said greenlit me too. Greenlit me too. You see the front of the shirt, Travis? I showed the front.
I honestly, anytime I see something this man put, I don't, because I know it's gonna be stupid, man. I know it's gonna be dumb, but I didn't see the front. I didn't even look at the shirt really.
Yeah, it has the Pope. It has the white Pope on the front of the shirt. The white. So, and I wish they would ask him about the front. I'm interested. I was trying to find to see where somebody was going to talk about the front of the shirt as well. Like, so what?
Break it down.
Yeah, break it down the front of the shirt, because he has the Pope. He has, I don't know if that's the same Pope on that side. Then he has Juan Julio the second, or Juan Julio whatever you have Juan Julio the second. Then he has another individual in the back, which might be the same person, just 3 times. A big image, a small image of him with his Catholic gear on, and then another image in the background. There's a lot going on the front of that shirt. So I'm interested on. Okay.
He's a Jew though.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's a Jew. Yeah, he's a Jew.
Man, he's a charlatan, man. Period. Yeah, he ain't been greenlit. None of that. Ain't nobody came up to him and talked about they gonna smoke him for wearing MAGA hats and none of that. This is psyop. You know, this is just simple case of psyop. He's playing psychological games. This is why I was listening to him right here where he said, oh, it's documented, right? Notice how he didn't say he read it or he gave a source. He's just throwing it out there in the atmosphere. It's documented, right? So he's trying to give himself some type of credibility, right? Without having that actual credibility. You know, he's playing games, man. He's a charlatan. He's a pseudo politician, and that's all it is.
Yes, he says it's been documented.
He said it's been documented, but he did not mention what document we should be looking for.
Right. Or he read it, or, you know, and can say some of the things that was in this document or this data that he
read. Documented that, because we don't know. We just know it's documented somewhere. Somewhere they wrote it down somewhere. But then now, like, how does that correlate with him talking about the organization and how they a scam? Like, what does that have to do? What is the Pope and all that have? Like, that shit is confusing.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to see, but nothing. And I'm not saying it ain't out there, but I done seen, and I was up, which, you know, I'm always up, but I had stopped doing some of my work just to try to look at some of these videos because, I wanted to, to get his take, or maybe he can elaborate a little bit further. Because that's why I said his answer he gave on Fox News was different than what he gave on Clique TV. You know what I'm saying? For the white, but nobody, talked about the front of the shirt. What's going on the front of the shirt? What was the inspiration behind the front of the shirt, or what are you trying to say about putting this white pope or these popes on the front of your shirt? What kind of statement was you trying to make on the front of the shirt? I wanted to see what was
You said it though. You said it, Kofi, in the beginning. It was written from the book of Kofi, right? You said it. You already made the statement, bro, that he attributes greatness to a certain demographic of Homo sapiens sapiens, period, right? So he's putting up the best of the best, right? The Pope, right? That particular position is great achievement. When he says white lives matter, he's talking about the great achievements of white people. He credits civilization for everything white, period.
Confused, man. This brother just confused, man. It saddens me, man, that he is confused.
Man, he got mental health issues that is not being dealt with, and they're being put on people's platform for entertainment, really, to be honest, because nobody is taking this shit serious. If people are watching this to be entertained, to laugh at Kanye.
What's crazy is he said that what he said about Harriet Tubman, but he put the Pope on the front of his shirt. Like, it speaks volumes.
I hope people is paying attention to some of the stuff that we actually saying, and man, we breaking down and we actually observing through the videos and what he's saying, and the stuff that he's wearing and the outlandish statements that he's making, and the many contradictions, man, that he's making, man. And my thing is, if this is just always me. If I'm not versed, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? You know what I'm saying? And this small space, this small online space, or this small online conscious community space, right? And there's been many different topics talked about. Like right now, the topic is going on about Kemet, right? It's all over the place. The place name Kemet, Kemet meaning black, all these different topics. I don't get involved in even with other ones before that. A lot of conversations I don't get involved in. I don't speak on said subject because I'm not versed in those subjects. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to listen. And not only listen, I'm going to go and verify some of the issues that they are actually talking about. Hey, y'all, go ahead. Somebody say something. My phone ringing. I need to answer this real quick.
Yeah. This is crazy though. Yeah. I was thinking like you said he said he's a Jew, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
So why is he using Christian vernacular to identify the deity, his deity of choice? Because that ain't that not what Jews they don't call they God, huh? And they don't worry about Jesus and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm correct, right?
Nah, you correct, but at the same time, right? In modern Christendom, right? The theological approach of the Jew-Gentile connection is based upon who has rights, right, to the promise, right, to the new covenantal promise, right? So a lot of Christian circles today, because I used to be heavy in Christianity, right, and I was heavy in Judaism as well prior to Christianity, right? So it's a battle between who has the particular rights to the covenant, right? This new covenant, this glorious covenant of the future. And so a lot of
figurative battle, right? It's not
it's a figurative battle. It's a analogy battle. It's a battle of analogies. Who is the proper children of God, right? That's their whole concept, right? So Orthodox Jews, obviously they claim to be the children of God, and that's what their writings purport, right? But Christianity comes along, right, and they're leaning upon these particular group of people's literature, you know, and then they build upon that literature, and now they're saying, well, there's so much glorification of these desert people. What about us, right? What about us? You know, where do we fit in? So that was the whole, you know, thing with Paul and Peter and all this Abrahamic nonsense. But yeah, but that's what it is, you know. So a lot of fundamentalist Christians, they'll say, oh, there is no ethnic Jew anymore, right? Or no people as a Jew anymore. We are all Jew if you're under this new covenant, meaning that you're all children of God or sons of God.
Right. And I think he,
belief.
Right. I think that's what he says. I think in some of that, and well, what you said, I think that exactly what he said. We're gonna see what he said though. Go ahead, Chambers. You had something else?
No, I said go ahead because I was just curious as to like how does this dynamic work where he's a Jew and like he's seemingly throwing shots at Christians, but like he goes to church, and last time I know, I think they call it something else, but he was just at churches and, you know, getting paid to be there and all that there. He was out here with Joel Osteen and all that. So they Christians and stuff. He thought he was pretty cool with them. So I'm confused again.
I'll say he just talked to Tucker Carlson about the consequences of the transatlantic slave trade to African American people, and then you turn around and put the Vatican on your shirt, and if you read, you wouldn't have made that contradiction.
I already know where you're going.
You wouldn't have.
I already know where you is right now.
Yeah, so for anybody that don't know, the order to these European Christians to be able to enslave African people, it came from the Vatican. It came from the Pope.
The Papas of Bull.
The
Papal
Bulls.
The Papas of Dundora. The Papas of Dundora.
Yep, all them Papal Bulls. Right, they came from the Vatican. They gave the order to these European Christian nations to be able to enslave those nations that were not Christian or were Saracen or AKA Muslims.
And it's that simple, right? It's that simple to read, and it matters what you read, right? So like the Kofi Piesie Research Team, the Mozzie Warrior Clan, the research team of all the brothers, they strengthen my ability, right, to discern information as accurately as possible. So it also matters what you read, right? And so that's what we hope. I hope Kanye West watches this and realize the error of his ways, you know, and get into some deep diving and studying instead of just sitting around pontificating with a bunch of other idiots.
Kanye West don't want no smoke with KPRT, man. He don't want no smoke, man. He don't want to have no conversation with us because we gonna piss him off. Listen, I'm on the panel. I'm gonna piss that.
Yeah, but if he's truly a Christian, watch this. It was Christianity that got me out of Christianity, because in the Bible it constantly talks about truth, and I had to determine in my own, at the time, my own spirit, right, which I didn't know was my kimoyo, right, or in the culture language, my owumu, right. I didn't know that it was crying out for truth, right. But I had to keep searching for truth, because there was this heavy emphasis in the Bible about truth, right. And I remember I told my wife, I said, look, if we become atheists around this motherfucker, just know it wasn't because of me being frivolous or having some type of discontent against God or whatever the case is, right? It's solely based upon truth. If it's true, then it's true, and I'm following that. So if he's truly a Christian, he would humble himself and he would seek after truth. But if he's not, and like I believe, he's a charlatan, yeah, you're correct. He don't want no smoke.
Yep. Let's get into the rest of it.
Our home. We need what was promised to us. Much like how we never received our 40 acres and a mule, and that puts us in a position where we feel we have to abort our children to the point where there are more Black babies aborted in New York City than born at this point. It was similar to at the Gap, they promised stores. At Adidas, they promised stores, and they didn't do what they promised. They felt like they could disregard what was promised.
What's your position with all those companies? Because they made a lot of money with you. Adidas made a lot of money with you. Gap made a lot of money with you. What's your relation with them? Because you call out and you talk about them on social medias, and I would like to understand.
Everything is not about money.
Hold on, I think it's a little
When people
bit
say
further.
they made a lot of, and is doing her own collection. So it was, in order to start Martine Rose, you had Demna. I mean, not.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Missed too many tabs labeled my new business. That's a good start, but the real.
Martine Rose was starting at Balenciaga when they went to men's. It was Martine Rose and Demna in the same room. That's part of the reason why Balenciaga is so powerful today. And obviously,
they powerful, y'all. Balenciaga is so powerful. Wow.
Everyone knows that Demna's my favorite designer. Everyone knows that Riccardo Tisci is the highest level of design.
But there you go. I'm gonna keep playing, but there you go. Every video, he is dropping these names like he's impressing us for dropping these names, right? Nobody else. There's other Black millionaires, there are other Black billionaires. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he always talks about these same collective few.
So there was a lot of pain and trauma and unpacking in the idea, because I would go back to Calabasas with no production and I would have sweatshirts. That's what we had. And the fact that I wanted to vote on Trump was the thing that sent me to the hospital the most, because Kim, my wife, would say, you know, that red hat is small dick energy. Scooter Braun would say, hey, you know, you know, that's gonna mess up your career. Sakaya Sanford would say, you don't want to be on the wrong side of history. Harvey from TMZ would say, just take that hat off. Kris Jenner would say, hey, just take that hat off. So imagine being in an environment where someone as vocal as me is told by every single person around them that they can't say what they believe in, and that I was a bad person if I believed something different than all the people in Hollywood. And if you go to the footage of where I'm on stage before I go to the hospital, I say, I would have voted on Trump. And it just felt good to say that after all of Hollywood told me that I couldn't say that. Just like people are trying to tell me I can't have a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter. I feel like to have the audacity as someone who has been placed in a box as a Black entertainer and a Black musician, a Black artist, because all these art worlds and design worlds, they'll hire Black people all day long as they're part of the political agenda. Adidas, the reason why they hired DC, who is a very BLM kind of Black employee, warden grad, would think about my daughter, but he was too disrespectful with our factories, like what Sway said. And I don't want nobody on my phone. I'm not accepting nobody on the phone giving me some advice. Give me help for real.
But that goes right there. He will never, like y'all was saying, maybe he'll see this and maybe he'll sit down. Nah, he's not going to sit down. He don't want to speak with nobody whose views is not the same as his views. He don't want to speak with nobody that's trying to, you know, give him some sound advice and push him in the right direction. He says he's not taking no phone calls.
Yeah, he's like I said before, it just it seems to lend credibility to my point. Like he want to defy what everybody else is saying. He want to go against the grain, which I mean is cool, but you know you have to deal with the consequences. There's consequences to every action. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he don't want those people around him telling him how to move better. You know what I'm saying? Better decisions to make. Oh wow, you gonna like he already think he's a god.
Mm-hmm.
He already think he's an entertainment god. So for somebody to be trying to dictate to him and tell him what to do, oh no, you shouldn't say this. Oh wow, I can't wear this shirt. You think you gonna tell me not to wear? Oh wow, this hat is little meat energy. Wow, like like it just lends credibility to what I've been saying this whole time.
Mm-hmm. That was man. I think that hurt him to the heart though.
Well, I was crying when he said that. I was crying over here.
Little meat energy, man. God damn, dog. She's saying your penis is little, man, because you got that damn dumbass cap on your damn head. Damn.
Yeah, she already done said he some other explicit stuff about that he likes. I ain't even gonna get into all that though. But yeah, she's I don't know, man. This whole shit is crazy.
Yeah, and if you look at she's a white European woman who we know have made a lot of money in the black community. She's I don't know about now, but at one point you can say she wanted to be white. I mean, she wanted to be black. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be black. She dressed black. She wore black hairstyle. She, you know what I'm saying? She was friends with black people. Probably still is. I don't know. You know, and he wants to be white. She wants to be black and he wants to be white. And going back to what I said earlier, what is Kanye West is doing for the black community? We know he has a school, the Donda Academy or Donda School. I don't know what particularly is it, but I know it's not, you know, it's for young black youth. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not. It's probably a mixture of both. Or it may be just I don't know. I know they on their third year of school, but I don't know if, you know, if that school is targeting, which it should be targeting young black youth, because going back to what I was saying a while ago, a lot of our schools are underfunded. So they don't have the new textbooks. They don't have the new information. They don't have laptops, or they got outdated laptops, they don't have the proper food that they need to have. They got people coming in who's just cooking and bringing whatever the case is. We just know that a lot of our schools are underfunded. So, you know, that could be something that he could have took to Donda Academy, you know what I'm saying? Because his mom, to me, was a representation of black excellence. And, you know what I'm saying? And she, you know, in my opinion, from what I seen in the footage that I seen, you know what I'm saying, she was for her people and was trying to teach Kanye about, you know what I'm saying, about his ancestry and black excellence, and showing him that black excellence, because she was a professor at a school who worked her way in school and became a head of one of those programs at one of the universities that she was at. So I highly doubt that the Donda Academy is for, you know, young black youth, you know what I'm saying, unprivileged black, you know, youth, to teach them, to give them a more higher education so they can have a better opportunity or even playing field like everybody else has a even playing field. But I'm quite sure that ain't. But you can see that Kim is actually, you know, she's doing some stuff, you know, that's trying to affect change with some of the people in the black community, you know. So that's kind of crazy to me. He's doing the opposite, right? and she's doing what he should be doing, right? That's you. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to that, but that's kind of crazy to me.
Seems like she's doing more for the black community than he is, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's freeing black prisoners and all types of shit. Like she was campaigning to free C Murder, I think last year.
Mm-hmm.
She done visited the White House when Trump was in office with the prisoners that were the ex-prisoners that she had helped free. Like, yeah, she from what I see at least, she's done more for the black community than Kanye has.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Well, let's get out. It's somewhere in here, man. We talks about we all Jews.
Give me real employees. Give me real factories. Come in and work in that. All these people, you know, they're my friends, but everyone is so afraid. And they should be, because I'm taking over. And that's why I'm in Paris right now.
I saw you with Mike. We spent some time together, and I was impressed because I saw you working like I never saw someone working, managing your personal life, your music, noting bars, cutting some art books, working on your new collection, working with some stylists, and and there is one scene that was emotional to me.
Let me stop there real quick. Yeah, I see Ogun Bola. He said, "Stop. Kanye is trying to." Okay. We'll digress that. Ogun Bola. Yes, I forgot about that. He was in line with Jay Prince, Larry Hoover's son, at one point in time, where he was actually trying to free Larry Hoover, and him and Drake put on a concert to raise funds. I do remember it. I'm glad you brought us back to that, where he was actually trying to raise funds and bring awareness of trying to bring Larry Hoover home. So we'll digress, brother. If something that we missed, we'll digress. So, you know, he's okay. So he tried to free Larry Hoover.
Yeah, I give him that point, but I still stand on my position.
Yeah, I do
that Kim has been doing more than I see. She done tried. She advocating for Gunna to get released. Like, yeah, okay, Larry Hoover, I give him that.
Yeah, I don't know what Larry Hoover had done for black people, for black folks. I don't know. I know they saying that his
I think he's been reformed, but he has caused destruction out here.
Yeah, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I read something, but this been like maybe some years ago. I think I read something where he was what the hell going on with my phone? Where he was writing children books, you know what I'm saying? Positive children books or something.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, so I mean, he may be doing something where he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, reach the minds of you know what I'm saying, the young black youth, you know what I'm saying, and advise them, you know, on going down the right path, because it didn't go into details about the children books that he was actually writing. So I don't know about what. I'm just assuming maybe he's writing something in the format of writing something about children where it's educating them, you know what I'm saying, to be positive, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. But
or it might have been them Jesus on his head because he used a symbol. He was using a symbol in his clothing. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know, but yeah, I give him that. But yeah, that was pressing him. He used the 6-point star in some of his clothing last year, and he actually was somebody. I think some dude was trying to sue because he had the star as a design for his clothing, and it was like, as soon as we came from seeing Kanye, he come out with this new design for his shit that looked very similar to ours. It's the star with I can't remember what he had inside the star, but yeah, man, them Jesus on his head.
Maybe he was using it for us like a Christian representation, Christian symbolism, because I don't know which.
David.
Yeah, so maybe he was using it, you know, as a Christian symbolism or something in that form. I don't know, because it's something new that you telling me. I didn't know nothing about, that, and I don't really follow his clothing because, man, you know, and I'm not knocking, nobody for, but his
it's like homeless people clothing.
Yeah, that is crazy. And I was seeing some stuff. They just had something in Paris, And man, I was seeing some stuff, dog. I'm like, man, it's that I wouldn't dare be caught in it. I wouldn't dare, buy my, but it's maybe he may, and again, like I'm saying, when you're doing something, when you're a businessman or a businesswoman, when you're putting out products, you have to know who your audience is, right? So maybe his audience ain't us, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's why the clothing that he puts out and the material that he picks and the stitching that he picks, it has nothing to do with us. It has something to do with another particular group of people or another demographic, and we may not be his demographic that we're going to buy because, we don't, which is crazy to me. We would buy that stuff up because people are still praising the Air Yeezys that was out with, years ago with Nike. I think that came out with an 09 or 2010, and now these other different renditions of Yeezys that people are still going to buy, through the Adidas company, which I think that is finna come to a halt as well. Some stuff going on with him in Adidas right now, and then he pulled out of the thing with Gap, so I don't know, man. It's I don't know, man. But
if you notice, man, see, there's a reason why he's pushing this Christianity, right? Is like you said, he's trying to reach a certain demographics, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at the clothing that he makes, right, they're all tattered, battered, worn looking, right? And a lot of people, they like, oh, you just making homeless clothes. But if you look at a lot of the desert dwellers, right, the desert gear, right, the Abrahamic drip, if you will, right? That's what he's making, modern Abrahamic drip. You know what I mean? Like we out here in the sand dunes and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we're so misguided as a people. We also got to take accountability, right? Because we're so easily influenced by celebrity, right? That we're going to go out there and start copping this desert gear. You know what I mean? And not knowing that we're supporting a certain ideology. His whole promotion is the Abrahamic God. That's his whole promotion. And a lot of people are unknowing of that.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was that's a good point. It might very well be that, because I was thinking around this time last year, he said he was homeless. Like he was just moving from place to place. So I thought that was just the homeless line. Like I thought that was
homeless,
the trash can apparel.
hey, but you might be right? But what does the book of Matthew says though? It says the meek shall inherit the earth. Right, it talks about the poor and all that. The kingdom belongs to the poor and all that stuff. Like this whole apocalyptic thing, right? Apocalyptic or apocalyptos, right? In Greek, right? Koine Greek means revelation, right? So the book of Revelation that people read, they're reading about this dramatic, end time event, right? And so now in the modern world, we use the term apocalypse to mean like the end all be all to a modern civilization as we know it. And all these apocalyptic movies, right? Like Mad Max. All he's doing is he's revamping the gear of Mad Max, right? All these apocalyptic movies, they dress the same and so on and so forth.
Yeah. That's a good enough, man. That's a good enough. I like that, man. I like I'm saying, I never looked at it like that, but just, seeing that, man, that could very well be true, man. But Kanye being homeless, come on, man. Come on, man. All these houses, I was just watching another thing where he bought someplace somewhere where he's just gutting it out just to see how the architecture was built, or how they decided to build the architecture within the house. So he's removing windows and stairs and walls, and he's finna set it up this kind of way. And then the ranch that he has, and man, Kanye got 2 or 3 different houses. That joker wasn't no damn. He might have was just traveling and wanting to stay in different hotels, but oh man, he wasn't homeless. Joker went homeless. No way.
Nah, he was doing the Jesus challenge. He was out there in the wilderness for 40 days, 40 nights. You know what I mean? Trying to get inspiration.
The pigeon in the building, and you came to talk to the security guy just to let the pigeon out. And it was reminding me this stuff about freedom.
Yeah.
And we have, to me, it was Kanye. It was how I see you, because...
Or Ye now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not saying that out of disrespect. Yeah, I'm so happy that you felt that, because I couldn't just leave it in the security's hands. This bird needed to fly. This bird needed to be free. So I took out my time to go, because I saw the bird like flying into the window. And that's why I said, I don't like mirrors and I don't like glass. Birds fly into glass. We don't need it. We're selfish to society. We're selfish to humanity. We're selfish to the earth in the way that we build just for our selfish purposes, or skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are like the Tower of Babel, you know, and the focus is the monasteries, to build places of a safe home for food, the most important thing to our species. Food, shelter, clothing is a form of shelter. A place where if someone doesn't know if they want to have their child or not, they can have their child. They can have the highest, we will have the highest medical teachers. Also, this is highest, there's a way that Gabby had worded it to me that explains how in Black America, we just don't have the healthcare that we need to even be able to successfully deliver our babies. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger with the KKK to murder Black people. And it is really eugenics. And we are in our Holocaust, as us, as Blacks, as Jews, as the last tribe of Judah.
Y'all hear it? He said we are... We are the Jews. We are the Black Jews. We are from the last. We are from the tribe of Judah.
Hebrew Israelites going crazy right now.
Yeah, they going. But he just make a statement and said that the Jews is sending Puffy. The Jews is sending Puffy at him. Didn't he make some kind of statement? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like I'm just, like I'm saying, the brother just makes stuff where you just be, I just be scratching. I'm confused. Like I'm confused. So which one is it?
You see how he slipped in though, before he started bringing up the Jewish shit, right? He slipped in, the concept of clothing again. Like he makes clothing spiritual, right? And this is what I'm looking for, right? When I'm trying to analyze, someone's thought pattern, right? I try to formulate, what's the common theme, right? Like his idea about fashion and clothing is spiritual, and that's the reason why I came to my conclusion about the reason why the clothes look the way they look, right? And for sure I could be totally wrong, right? But I'm looking at his language, right? What he ascribes a greatness to, glory to, beauty to, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so now we Jews and all that, all right?
Yeah, we are the Jews. We are from the tribe of Judah. We are from the tribe of Judah, y'all. So yeah, so we are the Jews. So he's stating that we are the Jews, and then the Jews are coming at him now. They sending Puffy at him, and then he made a disturbing post to me, man. I don't know if let me pull it up. Did I send that? Did I send that to you in the back chat? Sutek?
Well, which one?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't send it to you. I just send you what he. I didn't send the. Let's see if we can pull the post up. The post that he did to Boosie.
Oh no, I heard about that, but I ain't seen it yet.
Hold on.
Hey, this is why I made that song, brother Kofi. I love myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I was reading something today where Kanye West, not Kanye West, but Meek Mill chimed in and said he was tired of him and been supportive I want to listen to something today, but this is I want to see. Hold on, let's see. Let's see. Where he boosted slams. Let's see. I had to just read it, but I had seen the post, and then Kanye West Instagrams threatened Diddy. Kanye West responds. Let's see. Kanye West responds to Lil Boost, and he talks like a little hurt white boy.
If you work for yourself,
let me see. And he said some of the same.
Really need to get HoneyBook.
What's HoneyBook?
It's the all-in-one client management platform that.
Let's see if I can for this. Thought I can see the post, but maybe they'll show the post on this video. Let's see. Yeah, he talking about Ray J. Kanye West responds to Little Boosie. Where is it at? Today's let's see. They showing post now. Kanye West and Candace.
Facts. That's where you went. Listen, man.
Hold on, man. I'm just gonna read it, man. Cause unless you found this oh no, you was showing me that. Okay, let's see. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up from right here. Yeah, I'm finna have to look at that too, because I sure didn't know about that star 6-point star clothing. Like I said, I don't keep up with his clothing. Oh no, it just tells the controversy where it's not showing. But I'm gonna read the actually the tweet. They might have took the tweet down, but I can't see the tweet. But it was kind of hold on, let me see. Let's see if I can go back to it. Yeah, I'm just gonna read it. It says let's see if I go back to the top. Don't speak on me, Little Boosie. Speak to me. He tweeted in an all caps message that has sent. Oh, okay, yeah, that's why we can't see it. Scene been deleted, but has been captured by shared and shared on Twitter. West added, "Come smack me or come shoot me. I'm the one that got bullied by the entire black celebrity community. Now I'm back to shoot the school up." So I'm telling you, this guy, man, he's been hurt, man. He's been hurt by us, man. And man, now he's acting out, man, and now he's coming back with a vengeance, man. He say he's coming back to shoot the school up. So you know,
some white boy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You crying about not having black support, but when them people was in your ear trying to tell you to stop doing that monkey shit, you didn't want to listen. Now you crying that you didn't have black support. Like, come on, man, you got to get it together. I'm about tired of dude just as well as Meek Mill is.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, dog. That's crazy, man. But I appreciate, man, everybody, man, who tuned in. I appreciate my brothers on the panel, man. You know, I feel like we just needed to talk about the behavior of Kanye West, the bias of Kanye West, you know, and you know, get my brother's different perspective, because they brought out some stuff that I wasn't even thinking about. Sutek brought some stuff out. Chavis brought some stuff out. Ibaka brought some stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I just hope that my brother, you know what I'm saying, he's still our brother. We just don't like what our brother doing right now. Maybe he'll get it together. Maybe he won't get it together. I would say one thing to brother Kanye West, man. I'll say, man, please get your facts right, brother. Get your surroundings right, man, and you know, develop just like you learn how to do music, just like you learn how to record vocals, just like you learn how to structure music, arrange music, just like you learn how to distinguish from the different fabrics, the different stitching, you know what I'm saying? You know, learn to develop a skill set of reading, man. Don't take what people say on face value. Don't go and regurgitate and parakeet what someone else is saying, because of their status. And what I mean by their status is a certain position that they held, the amount of money that they may have, or even the proper rhetoric, the way that they know how to, properly, put words together. I always go back and fact check and verify what people say, learn what research methodology is, So that's the advice I would give him, man, is just learn a skill set of reading, man. Learn a skill set of, just develop that skill of reading, to learn where, you don't take everybody's word on face value because of their status, man, and get rid of your yes men. Like, that's basically what he wants around him. He wants people around him that he can boss around, people that's going to entertain everything that he say, even though that they know that he's acting a fool. He's not only making himself look bad, even though he may disassociate himself with us, black people. But, at the end of the day, he's still making all black people look bad with the antics, and the foolery and the outbursts and the false information that he's pushing, or even a narrative that he's trying to that he's trying to push on them. Get some people around you, man, that's not going to entertain what you say, just going to tell you the truth, because that's what I want. When I'm on some BS, man, I want somebody to call me, bro, you was wrong, bro. You was wrong, bro, for talking to your mama like that, bro. Need to go apologize to your mama, man. Your mama did just that and the third, bro. You didn't have that right to do that. You know what I'm saying? Call me out on my BS. Call me out on it. So, that's some of the advice that I give him, man. Just learn a skill set of reading where you can go and verify what people are saying, understand what research methodology is, where you can go and understand how you can verify and measure things, and surround yourself around people that want to see you win, but also don't want to see you make a fool of yourself. That's what I give him, man. What will y'all, just closing out. So what kind of advice would y'all give our brother Kanye West?
I'll say first I'll say appreciate everybody for coming through. Happy to hear from y'all. Would love to hear y'all thoughts and opinions, and even those that watch this show in the archives, please comment. Leave a comment under the video. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what you think, what your thoughts are, and or some suggestions of other topics you may have find interesting. But I don't got nothing to say to Kanye, man. Eat them damn Brussels sprouts. Quit playing.
What about you, Chaps?
I just want to, pretty much echo the same thing about reading, man. Fundamental. That's it's 100. We gonna it's 100%. We gonna always holler that. Just have some type of competence, or just know something about what you're talking about before you publicly making a statement about it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. What about you, brother Ibaka?
Yeah, you don't like reading. I would like to just read this Dr. Amos real quick, and I'll make it as brief as possible. There are those of us who are made ashamed of our history of enslavement, who are made ashamed by the distorted presentation of African history, which is why the European distorts it and presents it the way he does, are made to think that prior to enslavement, we were essentially culturally invisible and savage, and only achieved visibility and civility when the European came on the scene. Many of us attempt to repress any knowledge of our American slave experience, but we should heed the fact that a person and people who suffer from social amnesia lives lives that are determined by fear, anxiety, terror, and trauma. When we attempt to escape our history because we're afraid of it, when we escape knowledge because it terrifies and makes us feel ashamed, we then experience a terror and a fear and a shame that determines our lives. Kanye West, read a book, man.
Yeah, there you have it, man. again, man, we appreciate, bro, everybody for tuning in, man. And, we'll be back next week. I don't know if we'll be talking about something else, or I'll be dealing with the book Mandingo Theory, Castrations of Africans in the Sex-crazed Conceptualization. I know pretty soon I'll be breaking down every chapter within the book, so I'll be doing a presentation on it to kind of break down some stuff in the book. I appreciate everybody who went and got a copy of a book. I shipped out a lot of books last week. I appreciate those who purchased the book. Those who purchased the book should already have their books. Some of the books arrived earlier than I expected for shipping them out, because I don't ship priority no more. I ship media mail now, man. Priority mail is damn near $11, man. $11 priority mail. And I just refuse to pay $11 to ship some products, anything out, man. So I'm back at the media mail. Media mail is up, but media mail look like now is arriving just as fast as the priority mail. So again, appreciate everybody that got their book. Zane, did you get your book, man? Did you get your book, brother Zane? No, Zane was one of the ones that's in the chat who ordered the book. I think that was you. That was you, Zane, that ordered the book, but it was going to California. Ain't you in Atlanta? Or you done migrated from Atlanta to California? Or this might have been somebody else. Candace need a serious review. Yeah, we probably can deal with her, man, next time, Donnie Williams, man. You know what I'm saying? Because she's another person. You know what I'm saying? I think that we need to talk about, man, and there's been in Kanye West's ears for years, giving him all type of misinformation, man. That's where a lot of information has come from, as well as others, man. Nah, I didn't purchase the book. Okay, so that must have been somebody else then, with your name then, because I know you in the ATL, and this was California that I sent it out to, man. But okay, but I know you'll probably be getting it soon, man. But yeah, appreciate those who bought the book. Again, it's on Same Tree, Different Branch, Publishing.com. Go get your copy today. And again, I stand by the works. Those who got the book or get the book later, if you read the book and you're not enjoying the book or don't think it's a good book, reach back out to me and I'll give you money back. But I'm standing behind what I put out. It's an interesting read. I break down a lot of stuff in the book that we miss or we don't talk about, particularly when we deal with the women. Got some good response back, not far as people reading the book back yet, but me breaking it down. I've been on 2 different radio stations recordings. I'll let y'all know when the interview actually air on the radio stations in Louisiana and a station in Cleveland. So those should be out in another week or 2. I think the one in Cleveland will probably be out this week, and then the other one probably will be out later at this week. And just me breaking down and them asking questions about the book. I kind of got some good feedback and some interesting things that I brung out that people, might have missed when we talk about the Atlantic slave trade and the sub-Saharan slave trade. But yeah, go get the Mandingo Theory, Castrations of Africans, and the Sex-crazed Conceptualization. Man, and we out of here, man. I want to say peace, liberation, inspiration, and motivation. And man, we out of here, man. Matter of fact, I'll play some music by I ain't got that other one on here. I don't even know if you had wanted me to get that and play it. No way, Ibaka. So I just got it tucked.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do anything for anything that somebody send me if I don't get their permission. You gave me permission with these other songs, and we gonna play. Matter of fact, man, we'll just, all the songs are my favorite, man. But Kanye West, man, man, you got to be solid, dog. You got to be solid with your people, man. So we're gonna play a song by our brother that's on the panel, Ibaka. We gonna play Solid, man, and we out of here, man. Y'all be solid out there as well, man. Stay solid.
JC, you cold for this one.
Solid, riding around with that recipe. Whatever you call whatever you call me. You know that I will always be solid, solid. Ain't no running away from me. When the plan is in motion, where do you stand? In the field, ain't no sitting in the stand. For the ported build cities on the sand. $250,000 chill the city with a fan. City feel like hot fire with a pen. Going down like airplanes when they land. They don't know what it takes to be a man. It takes a lot of strength to shake a hand. Greet one another, greet your brother with a helping hand. Solid, riding around with that recipe. Whatever you call it, whatever you call me, you know that I will always be solid, solid, solid. Riding around with that recipe. Whatever you call it, whatever you call me, you know that I will always be solid, solid.